enjoy, and I'll be covering the next 3 for this week and the next 2 weeks. Peace, patience, and kindness. And we'll just keep on going. I'm not sure who teaches after January, but we'll keep working on all the way through. So you should have a pretty good idea of what we'll be talking about each week. I cannot talk like Ben can talk, so I love discussion. I would much rather have the types of discussion. I know I've got guys here that are in the same Sunday school. I always get way more out of those classes when there's discussion and we're talking about things. I have so much more than I do when I'm sitting up here talking. And if there's not a discussion, that either means that I'm going over something y'all already know, or I'm way off in left field and you guys have no idea what to say to bring me back. So hopefully neither one of those is the case. But I will ask questions. Please feel free to interrupt me and chase any kind of rupture, anything we want to talk about, as long as it's about peace. We'll cover it. All right. So to recap, since we were gone last week, in Paul's letter to the churches of Galatia, he instructs the believers there to walk by and be led by the Spirit. He makes the point that if we live by the Spirit, it will produce in us certain positive attributes, all of which point back to God and Jesus, all of which are inherent attributes of God and Jesus, called fruit of the Spirit. So the verses in Galatians 5, 22 and 23, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such things there is no law. Ben made a really great point, I think it was in his initial class, that we cannot produce that fruit ourselves. I can't decide today, I'm just going to have more love. I'm going to be filled with more love, or I'm going to be filled with more patience, or that's something, this fruit. Maybe certain unattractive definitions of those words I can use, but under the definitions that Paul is using here, I can't produce that myself. I don't have the ability to do that. The Spirit does. The Spirit allows those things to grow in me if I am doing things that allow it to happen as well. So as we walk with the Spirit, as we're guided by the Spirit, then these things naturally are produced. And that's a hard concept, I think. When he mentioned it, that was a hard concept for me to understand. I would much prefer to say, okay, go do this and I can go work on that. You need to learn how to do this particular aspect of this job. Okay, I can go learn how to do that. I can make sure I'm the best at that. But when you say, no, you can't do that. Yeah, that has to happen because of other things. Sometimes it's kind of makes you tense up a little. Makes me tense up a little bit. But I think as we've gone through a few of those and we'll go through more, I think we've got some ideas about what exactly we can do to generate fruit, can't produce the fruit. We can certainly put it in a situation where it has the ability to be produced by the Spirit. So we're going to look at peace tonight. We're going to look at what Paul was referring to when he mentioned attribute, what this attribute was, how we see it, what it means here in the Bible versus maybe what we interpret it to be, what it looks like when it's present, when it's not, and then what, if anything, like I said, I feel like I need to have some kind of practical application we can do to put ourselves in a situation where we are able to bear this particular fruit. So, as Ben has done with the first 2 attributes, probably the first thing you kind of have to do is define the fruit. And first, you kind of define it by defining what it isn't. And what it isn't is the world's definition of peace. So, if putting the Bible aside, putting the Scripture aside, if someone was looking at this from a worldly view, and they said, what is peace? What is it? An example, a definition? What would you say peace is?
No conflict.
No conflict. The absence of conflict. Yeah, that's pretty much spot on. What does peace look like? Again, still sticking with this worldly idea. What does it look like in this world?
Tolerance.
Tolerance?
I think you get maybe into the idea of this, from a worldly perspective, this everything is okay and we're all fine, and nobody's bothered by anybody, and it's all this hypothetical kumbaya.
Yeah. very surface level. When are you at peace? If you're, again, not talking about maybe the peace of God that we're going to talk about, but the peace of your, where are you most at peace? Camping? Beach? Mountains?
Usually somewhere that there's not stuff you're responsible for, not counting for.
So no chickens anywhere.
Exactly.
Not chicken inside. Yeah, well, you don't have any obligations. One of my favorite things to do to see that has peaceful feeling is at the Lives of Leaders Convention. We go there, and I usually go up on Wednesday because Toby and I are setting stuff up ahead of time, getting rooms. But when we get there Wednesday, it's pretty empty because the convention that was during the week is usually left by then, but nobody's gotten there yet from lads. And so you get these huge spaces in Auckland where there's not very many people there. You can walk around and hear the waterfalls, and just, it's super peaceful. So that Wednesday evening and then the first thing Thursday morning until about 8 or 9, I love just to walk around and just like see that, especially because I know what it's going to look like 5 or 6 hours later, or especially the next morning when you've got hundreds and thousands of kids running every which way. It's peaceful. It's tranquil. I guess would be another word about that. We can produce that kind of peace ourselves. We can put ourselves in a situation where we're going to have that peace. You can go to the beach and set up a chair where there's nobody else. You can go to the mountains. I can go to these places at the hotel and have that. It's nowhere it would be peaceful. We can do those things. But we can also lose that peace pretty easily, and through no fault of our own. As parents, 4 kids, at the house, sometimes you just want a minute with your spouse to talk about your day. There's a small, just slice of peace right there. And it never lasts long. And sometimes it's very short. So today I come home and I walk in, I put myself down at my desk, and I'll go over and I say, Kelly, but before I can even get to Kelly, she's standing right there. Both my boys just swoop in and right there and stop. Through no fault of my own, I did not get to experience that peace that I should have gotten to experience. I had no control over that. So that tells us that this kind of peace, this worldly kind of peace, is not the kind of peace that Paul is talking about. Because if it can be destroyed by someone, if I can generate it myself, if I can produce it myself, it's not a fruit of the Spirit. It may still be a good thing, and it is. It's nice to have those peaceful moments. But it's not what Paul's talking about. So let's see exactly what he's referring to. I am certainly no Greek scholar. I typically shy away from trying to look at